So on Extreme Sisters, Christina and Jessica still have any problems. And I feel like, okay, Christina is the one with the boyfriend. And Jessica is the one who wants Christina to tell her boyfriend that they're psychic. Now, I'm sorry, I don't like Jessica. She's a major drama queen. And I feel like she only wanted Christina to tell John that she was psychic because she thought that it would break them up. She thought that John would think that she was a quack and that he would be like, yeah, I don't want this. And he would be on his way. That's not what happened. And now I feel like she's going to turn up the crazy times 100, right? So in this episode, her and John get into it again as usual. And so when Christina tells her boyfriend that she's psychic and that she and her sister are close, the sister is like, so that means we're close. That means we're tight. That means I'm going to be able to be here whenever I want, and you're not going to be able to say anything. It's like she's trying to she's trying to break them up. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like Christina is starting to get it. She's starting to feel like, you know what? It feels like you're going to do whatever it takes to break us up. So anyways, John says, you know what, it's fine that you guys are close, but Christina doesn't stress how close they are. She just says that she and her sister are close because they both have psychic tendencies, right? Or psychic powers, or whatever you want to call it. However they refer to it, they're psychic. So Jessica gets pissed off because Christina doesn't stress how close they are, right? And so she takes it upon herself to start saying, well, that means that I can be here whenever I want, and you guys could be relaxing on the couch, and if I want to come over, I'm just going to come over, and I'm going to sit on the couch, and I'm going to do whatever I want to do with you guys. And I'm like, bitch, what's wrong with you? This girl needs a life. She needs a life. She needs a therapist. She needs something. I don't know what it is, but I feel like Christina, like I said before, is starting to get it. She needs to put some distance between herself and her sister, because her sister is now feeling, I feel like Jess is feeling left out, and she's feeling extremely jealous. And so later in the episode, Christina goes over to Jess's place, and this part feels very scripted because Christina goes into Jess's room, and out of Jess's room, out of her bathroom comes some guy, and Jess is laying on the bed. She's fully clothed, and the guy supposedly, they slept together, and it's someone that she knows. I think it's an ex or whatever. And Christina's like, did you guys actually sleep together? And they're like, yeah, we did. And I'm thinking, no, you didn't. You didn't do any such thing. You're trying to make a point to your sister. You think that you're doing to your sister what you think your sister is doing to you by having a boyfriend, but that's gonna blow up in her face. Because, I don't know, did you guys see it? Did you see when, Jess she's literally laying on the bed in her shoes and her coat and her pants and everything, and this dude comes out of the bathroom like as if he was just like having a shower or whatever, but he's fully clothed too. So this shit is gonna backfire on you without question. And the reason that it feels like it's kind of scripted is because Patrix and Patricia go through almost the exact same thing. Remember, Patrix and Patricia they're the twins who have the dream of, they both want to move to Orlando, okay? And Patrix wants to move, but Patricia is married with kids, right? And there's no way she's gonna pick up her whole family and move to Orlando, right? They live in Georgia. Patricia and her husband try to set Patrix up on dates because they figure, you know what? If she finds someone where they live, she won't be so gung-ho to move to Orlando. Fine. So she goes on a few dates, nothing happens, nothing clicks. Next thing you know, Patrix is in Texas with her ex-boyfriend, but she doesn't tell Patricia that that's where she's gone, right? Patricia's son is who Patrix told where she was, and the son lets the cat out of the bag. And so Patricia calls Patrix, oh my God, these names. Patricia calls Patrix, and Patrix, she's worried because Patrix isn't picking up the phone. Then when she finally picks up the phone and says, or when Patricia texts her and says, I know you're in Texas, call me. She picks up the phone and she tells her that she's in Texas with her ex-boyfriend, her on and off ex-boyfriend. And look, we're engaged. So do you see where I'm coming from with this? First, Jess is sleeping with her ex-boyfriend to spite her sister. And now Patrix is engaged to her ex-boyfriend, I feel like, to spite her sister, because her sister doesn't want to drop everything and move to Orlando with her. So yeah, anyways, Patrix comes back from Texas and, tells her sister about, how she got engaged and whatever, and she's gonna move to Texas to be with this ex-boyfriend Tony. And so now it's the shoe is on the other foot, with Patricia asking Patrix, well, what about Orlando? I thought we wanted to go to Orlando. But it's like, girl, you have a family. You weren't able to go to Orlando. And now it's Patrix saying, well, you didn't want to go to Orlando, so I had to do something for me. I went to Texas, and I'm going to move to Texas and be with Tony. So I'm like, okay, I get that, but you're all of a sudden engaged to someone that you haven't really been with in 2 years, or however long it's been. I think Patricia said it was like 2 years, and now all of a sudden you're engaged. Do you know what I mean? Just from the point of view of like watching the show, it feels like, how are these two women both now all of a sudden back with their exes to spite their sisters, right? I don't know, it feels very scripted to me. Very scripted to me. So Patrix decides that, or Patricia has decided that, they still want to go to Orlando, but that Patrix should have her wedding in Orlando, and that's how she will get her husband and her family to go to Orlando to see what this big dream is about, and maybe, they'll be fine with, moving there. And then Patrix has to tell her fiance/husband that they want to move to Orlando. It's just a big mess. The whole Orlando thing with, oh, now I'm engaged to someone who lives in Texas, and it's just a big ass mess. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see. The Baileys, they're one of them, the older Bailey gave birth, and her husband did something with the placenta because I think she wanted to eat it, and he left it in the back seat of her car, or in the trunk of her car in a container, so they had to throw it out. It's just like, yeah, this is all Extreme Sisters. It's starting to make more sense than it was. I watched the first episode and I was like, yeah, no, I don't think I want to do this. And then some of you were like, can you talk about Extreme Sisters? And I thought, okay, well, maybe it's better. And I had some episodes recorded, and so I watched them, and yeah, it's starting to make more sense. But this episode with the two sisters, maybe I'm too critical, right? Maybe I look too deeply into it. But the thing that jumps out at me about this episode is the two sisters getting back with their exes. And it feels like they did that, if they actually did that, if it's not a whole scripted thing, to spite their sisters who are in relationships, right? It's like, ladies, go get something to do, get a hobby, get a job, get a man, something. But yeah, I don't know, whoever's writing this, or it's like they're writing it on the fly, right? There's a cameraman standing there, and then there's like a script supervisor or a scriptwriter or something sitting there going, okay, now you say this, right? So that they're all doing the same thing. Like Jess with her ex and Patrix with her ex is just like, what? Anyways, yeah. That's all I've got for Extreme Sisters for today. If you want to join me for unfiltered commentary, join me on my Patreon. The link is in the description below this video. I will see you next time. Peace.